Richard, there seems to be a very distinct smell in the air. I'm not sure I can quite identify it.
Probably a lot of marijuana.
Marijuana. Gugu-Gees, Jakarta Priij. In this episode, I explored Venice Beach in Los Angeles, California. But significantly, for the first time since my imprisonment at Area 51, I admitted to another human that I was an alien. Oddly, he didn't seem very surprised. I'm here visiting Venice Beach, and I met Richard on my travels. You used to live here on the beach years ago.
Literally on the beach at times.
You live in Panama City now, and you're visiting your old stomping grounds here on Venice
Panorama, yeah, we call it Paranormal City. Yes, I live in Paranormal City.
And what was it like when you lived here on the beach?
Venice was known as the place where the debris meets the sea. When I ended up here, I was broken badly. I hated my family. I blamed them for my unhappiness. And this place took me in. I got laid. I got stoned. I made friends down here. I had a place to live. The Hare Krishnas were bringing food down. I was eating and getting fatter by the day. I didn't have anything to worry about. I didn't need money for anything.
What year was this about?
In the late 1980s. I spent a lot of time in that house.
Where?
What's money like on your planet?
What's money like?
Yeah, you have money on your planet?
No. Everyone is given what they need by, I suppose you would say, the state. My planet is very, very colorful and very slimy.
Well, of course, you're all worms.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So are you homesick? Are you missing your home planet?
I do miss it to some extent. There were some friends that I left behind that I haven't seen in about 35 Earth years or so. But I'm very happy to be here. That's for certain.
You notice there are many women here that, by Earth standards, are very appealing.
I think I am beginning to understand the nature of attraction ever since I'm melded with the human that I became. The first instance of this where I felt an extreme attraction was when I was doing a production of a West Side Story with the Area 51 players. It was a theater group that I formed on Area 51 when I was a captive there. And one of my fellow actors I formed an attraction with. I wonder where she is today.
She may be here. She may be. Keep your eye out.
That would be nice. Now, Richard, you let me know that at one point you had gotten up to 350 Earth pounds, and it was a challenge that you overcame because obviously you're not overweight now. This is something that I struggle with because I find Earth food, so amazingly tempting that I can't seem to form any sort of reasonable plan about how much to eat. How did you overcome this obstacle?
Well, the answer starts with a question. On your planet, did you have any idea or concept of God or a higher power or something that is universal and personal at the same time?
We don't have religion per se, but we do have a deep appreciation for what we would call the mystery of the eternal.
Okay.
The universe that is so vast that no one can actually ever completely know it.
But do you think that mystery is personal to you?
Personal to me? Interesting. On Gugu-Gee, the worms are more of a collective, and there's more stoicism, not a lot of emotion. It's different here on Earth.
So you think the answer seems to be more that there on your planet, Gugu-Gee, because people are more aware of their unity amongst them, this essence, whatever this mystery essence is a collective experience, not a singular experience.
Collective, yes, I would say that's true, yes.
Collective. So here it's a more individual. People fight and argue and kill each other over different beliefs and different religious ideas. They haven't come to a, we're all in this together, we're all children or humanity. So there's a certain advantage to the worm-like reality that you come from.
This might be true in
You're
a way.
not you're not out killing each other over your beliefs.
This is true. Although I am having trouble understanding how this then relates to your victory over food.
Okay, so here's what it gets down to. It's a very it's a mystery, and yet it's very tangible. That thanks to my association with other people who share my overeating and mismanagement tendencies, I gained power. I gained a power that I lacked. And obviously, I didn't have enough power to achieve it. I tried. I'd go on diets. I couldn't do it. So I admitted to the group that I couldn't do this. I tried over and over. I always ultimately failed. So the group took me in. So it was in that, almost like from your planet, I became more one with others who shared my same reality, and some who were still struggling with it, and some who were not. So I could relate to the ones who were still struggling, because I was still struggling at that point with it. And also, but I was finding that I wanted to draw to those who were not struggling with the whole issue anymore, and that were losing all their excess weight without ever feeling deprived. What happened was I realized that this mystery it's a mystery, but it's also personal. It's personal to everything and everyone, but not everyone is availing themselves of that power. They live from it. We're created through it, but we aren't necessarily personally availing ourselves of what it has to offer. We may have religious beliefs, or we have dogmas, or we argue about this stuff, but to actually have a personal experience of a power greater than ourselves that removes from us the whole issue. So food then becomes a wonderful thing to do, but not to overdo.
You must just have something built in now that allows you to stop.
Yeah. I don't get hungry anymore. I don't even experience that. Sometimes Diane says, "Have you eaten today?" Oh no, I forgot. I don't even think of it. But then when I eat, I always enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I don't like to eat too much because it doesn't feel good in my stomach. So it's no longer an issue in my life. It's a strange freedom that I have, and some other people in program receive that freedom. I think that there is a power that is simultaneously intimately personal and simultaneously infinitely universal. It applies to everything and everyone everywhere. This intelligence, the universal intelligence, applies to everything in totality, but it also applies to every individuation separately. We're not really not separate. That's the illusion that we're separate. You're worms, you're a unified field, and you're on your planet. Well, here, we're not. We're not, but we are, but we don't recognize it.
Yeah.
So in order to have the power of a higher power, we have to first believe that there is a power greater than ourselves that can restore us to sanity in all areas of our life. First, I had to admit that I was powerless over this thing, and I had to reach out to other people. And then I had to rethink my whole idea about a higher power, because I had such a negative notion. God loves you, but watch out. God's going to reward you if you're good and you're going to go to heaven, but if not, oh God, you're going to hell, burn forever. So I rejected all that.
And is this higher power only a God?
It's everything. It's the essence. It's Father and Mother God. It's the essence of all things. All things are made of something that's no thing at all. This no thing is everything, because it's here. It's everywhere. It's so everywhere that it's easy to miss it. It's easy to not see it, recognize it, and to avail ourselves of it. It doesn't demand. It's non-demanding. It doesn't demand, but there are consequences if we don't choose it, if we don't avail it. And sometimes I don't do it perfectly, but that's, I think, what allows me to live in a body that I probably would be dead and gone if I had not found this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still here.
That's good. I'm glad you're still here. On my planet, we don't dream. We're very stoic, as I said, very practical. We don't have heightened emotions. I think there's good and bad to having heightened emotions, having the ability to dream, having the ability to create art. There's no art on Gugu-Gee to speak of. So there are some wonderful things about the Earth.
Yeah, there's a certain beauty to even to what seems ugly in some ways. It's like we have wars, we kill each other, and you know, I have hope that eventually we'll learn to stop doing that. But it is where we are as a species. We're adversarial, we're emotional, we're loving and generous, and we're selfish and violent, and you know, we're not stoic. But I don't think stoicism is the goal.
No, not for me. Now that I've had a taste of art, quite frankly, and theater and music, it's something that I do not want to give up anytime soon.
If and when you go back to your planet, will you be kind of a troublemaker in a way? Will you be welcomed back as one of the collective, or are you going to kind of stand out like a third thumb or something?
Well, it is interesting. I do this show that I beam up to Gugu-Gee about traveling on Earth, vacationing on Earth, and my understanding is that it is the #1 digital transmission on Gugu-Gee. So obviously there is some curiosity about life here on Earth on Gugu-Gee.
Probably X-rated almost. It's like these people who are used to being stoic are kind of getting their shaken up a little bit. They're being confronted with things that they like, well, that's strange.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
There's also something about the alchemy of joining with a human, which created for me a higher emotional state and a curiosity about things such as art and so forth. It didn't happen until I bonded with my human. And by the way, Gugu-Gee-ans are a peaceful, benevolent society. We would never join with another being unless that being either welcomed us in, or is a clone of, say, a clone of a human, or a human that is deceased. Those are the only ways that we would join with a human being. We would never forcefully take over.
So, in some ways, it sounds like your planet, your beings, are advanced to where we're at, and in some ways, they lack what we have. So,
True.
So it's like a interesting mix. So we need to be more worm-like, and your people might not need to, but might choose to become more human-like.
I believe both societies could learn something from each other. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm hoping that this show that I'm doing is a bridge between planets.
Yeah, for Earthlings, and to know, because it's interesting for me as an Earthling to know what life was like or is like on your planet.
Yeah. Where are the bodybuilders?
They're further down.
Further down, huh?
Santa Monica Pier is right there, and about another mile that way is the Venice Pier.
Yeah. On Gugu-Gee, taking in nourishment is a very sort of rudimentary, not a particularly enjoyable undertaking. And we take in our paste. It's a paste-like substance, and that's how you get nourishment. It's about getting nourishment, basically. But here it's about, yes, recreation, enjoyment, culinary excitement, and stimulation. sugar.
By the way, very quickly, if you like the show, consider Buy Me a Coffee to help support the show. Buy Me a Coffee is a great way for creators and artists to accept one-time support or membership ongoing from their fans for the price of a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/brainfire to help the show. Thank you.
Get out of here to where the weather is clear. We'll take some coffee and some bacon.